Oh, oh, I didn't forgot how to do this swoop. Hold on. Okay. About to get pissed off.
Back it up, I put on the show, I be acting up. If he ain't got no bread, I'm packing up. I need a rich nigga with a bankroll just so I can add it up. Say ho, my nigga got him an a-hole. He gon' listen and do what I say so. He know I'm only after the.
Hi, I'm Tassie and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome home. And if you're a new subscriber, make yourself at home by clicking that subscribe button. So it is a clear reason why I look a mess right now. Trust me, I know exactly what I look like. It's not cute. It's not pretty at all. If you follow me on Instagram, then you pretty much know all of my business at this point. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then well, this is why you're here and you're out of the loop. But basically, I am still recovering from my trip to New York. I went to New York for my birthday, so I went on the day of my birthday, which is March 10th, and I did not get back until the 13th. After that, I pretty much have just been working and some other stuff has been going on. You know how my life goes. Like, things just be happening and I can't control it. But in a nutshell, I pretty much been like non-stop for basically 2 months straight. I pretty much been working like all February so that I could get some money for my trip. Worked all the way until it was time for me to leave for my trip. Went on the trip, came back and did more work. I had like a day of rest in between, but like that was pretty much it. Today I actually have time. I actually have like a break. So this is what it looks like when you just been on the go nonstop. So as you guys have read by the title, today we'll be talking about all of the life lessons that I've learned up to this point. Yes, I am only 24 years old. I have been told that I act older than my age, and I have been told that I look younger than my actual age. So yes, I am 24. I am only 24. March 10th, 1998. That is it. That is all. I actually wanted to give you guys this video before I went on the trip, but like I said, a lot has been happening. I barely had a break in between times, so you're getting this video now. And I actually do have like more birthday related content that I need to upload and like talk to you guys about, because I, like I said, planned on doing it before I even went on the trip, but you know, my life. But I am getting that out to you guys as we speak. So this will be the first segment of the birthday saga. Hopefully I can get all of it out before March ends, but I can't make any promises. So while I tell you guys my life lessons, I will also be getting ready, because I haven't only been slacking on YouTube, I have been slacking on everything. And I low-key need to create some content. That way people don't get tired of me and they won't dispose of me. Because so far, Instagram and its new algorithm has completely ate my page up. I will talk about that in a later video, but yeah, my page is looking trifling right now. So I need to get myself together so that I can do that. I need to take pictures. I need to take a few TikToks and all that other stuff. So I'm basically just killing 2 birds in 1 stone. I'm getting ready right now while talking to you guys and filming this video. So enough of my rambling, let's just get into this video, because I am tired of looking at myself like this. So we are definitely gonna start with my hair. I wish I would have took a few pictures to show y'all how my hair looked before today, because the girl that ended up doing my hair, she did an amazing job. Like, it was just so, it was so laid, it was so cute. I mean, it don't look terrible now, but like I'm trying to tell y'all, like when she did my hair, girl, like it looked way better. It looked way better. I mean, I feel like we all, you know, like when we get our hair done and they do like the little swoops and the swirls of the baby hairs, you know, we all expect that we're not going to be able to replicate that. Like, you know, it's not a big deal. But when I tell you, like, my hair was just, it was just laid. It was just laid to the gods. And you know it was laid to the gods too, because she actually put me in like one of her advertisements. It was cute. It was mad cute. And a little bit of information on this hair. This is the first time that I've gotten like a frontal wig. I've never really had like a full frontal. If you've been on my channel long enough, then you already know like I do like synthetic hair reviews and stuff like that. This unit actually came from Unice, and I've always heard like really good things about Unice and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not all that impressed, because like she just did such a good job, especially because like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that impressed with this hair. I'm not. I like my hair to be thick. This ain't as thick as I prefer, but that's just a personal preference, number one. And number two, I have to say that the lace itself, it was real small, real tiny. And she said the same thing when I took it to her. Like, she said, like, you know, she's had hair from companies like this. Like, basically this unit is from Unice, right? Unice or Eunice, I don't know how it's pronounced. I've heard it in various different variations. So I bought this from Unice, and honestly, I'm not all that impressed. Not for real. Like, I paid $400 for this, and the lace is HD lace, which is good. But when I tell you it's so little, it's just the lace is so little. Like, and my head is huge. So I don't like that. Second of all, I really like for my tracks, like my bundles, to be thick. Not like thick to the point where, you know, this is gonna look like a helmet, but you know, I like for my little bundles to be thick, because I'm used to having thick hair. I naturally have thick hair, and for this to be supposedly 180 density, babe, you're not giving 180 density. So like, in a way, I do feel like I don't want to say I feel like I got scammed, but I had planned on doing a hair review for my birthday hair, and baby, this ain't worth reviewing. I'ma just be honest. It's definitely decent for like if you first start getting into frontals and like you want to go from synthetic wigs to human hair wigs, but I have to say, like, this ain't my first wig. This ain't my first human hair wig, and I gotta say, like, I ain't that impressed. I'm just not. Is it terrible? No, but seriously, like, I'm just not that impressed. And oh my goodness, this is another thing too. So obviously I got a center part split down the middle, right? When she did my hair, it was amazing. Once again, amazing, laid. I look so cute. When I went to New York, everything was fine. For some reason, I come home, do like 2 shifts at work, come back, tell me why I got a bald spot. Oh, do y'all see that? This is a bald spot in the lace, and this is in the same crevice of my center part. This is still my center part, right? I didn't pluck it. I didn't do anything to it. It was not like this when she did my hair, and it was not like this when I went to New York. I don't know how. I just magically ended up getting a bald spot right here. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it was not as thick as they claimed it to be. I think one of the reasons why it ended up having a bald spot right there is probably because, you know how you get like flyaways sometimes? It was certain parts of the flyaways where I was just kind of like ripping it out. Like, I was just picking at it. And I feel like that's how that got there. But once again, I do synthetic wig reviews on my channel. Ain't no synthetic wig ever did me like this. So I feel like it's some BS. I feel like something's going on, but I might order from them again, because maybe I just got unlucky. Maybe this is a bad batch. I don't know. But baby, I don't know. I don't know. It's alright though. But anyways, let's just get into the video, because at this point I have been rambling for so long and I am so sorry. But yeah, let's just talk about the life lessons. Okay, so the first life lesson that I feel like I had to learn was that it is okay to leave when it's time to leave. I am the type of person where my loyalty runs very, very deep. And this loyalty of mine will go to people, places, and things. Yes, it does. I am that dedicated. And the thing about my loyalty is that with it running so deep, I will sometimes overstay my welcome and give entirely too much energy and time and dedication to these things. And obviously I always end up getting my feelings hurt in the end. So it took me way longer than it should have to get adjusted to the idea that when it's time to go, it's time to go. Because I'm a very sentimental person, you know, like I really do love the memories that I share with people. I love the memories that are attached to certain places. And there have been times where, because I have all these memories with this specific person, or I have like some type of connection with this specific place, or because this item reminds me of a good time in my life, it's hard for me to let those things go. It's hard for me to chuck the deuces up and be like, okay, I don't want this anymore. Even if I know that those things are draining me, like they are destroying me as a person, I still feel like I need to give something. I need to do something. And realistically speaking, I don't have to. The relationships that I went through in 2018 it really traumatized me. If I'm being honest, it traumatized me. That was a really hard year for me. I still have not told the full story, but even my situation with Central State, that is just a god-awful mess. It's just a god-awful mess, and I feel like I wasted my time. I wasted my energy. I just wasted so much of my life where I could have been doing something else, or I could have been doing something more. And I'm not gonna lie, looking back, it's a little embarrassing seeing the types of things that I tolerated. It's very embarrassing seeing the types of relationships that I entertained. Like, it's just not a good look at all. But at the same time, I'm not mad at myself. I'm not disappointed in myself. Like, I don't feel no type of way about me as a person, because I'm a person, you know, like I'm a person. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna bump my head. I'm gonna make a few mistakes. And at the end of the day, these situations did shape me as the person that I am today. So, you know, I'm not that mad about it, but it is kind of like, it hurts a little. It hurts a little to look back on all of that. It does hurt a little bit to realize that there were certain moments in my life where I wasted my time completely, and I just gave it to things that really did not deserve it at all. So the second life lesson that I had to learn, which I feel like is probably one of the hardest, believe it or not, sometimes things are my fault. Yeah, sometimes it's my fault. I feel like we as humans have a hard time really taking accountability for our actions and how we decide to handle certain situations. I mean, honestly, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm gonna give you credit for that. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But in order to truly heal, you have to step back and realize that sometimes certain things, it was your fault. It was your fault. You got to realize, like, the world was not attacking you. Everybody wasn't attacking you. Sometimes it was just you. Sometimes you messed yourself up, you know? Sometimes you made a situation way worse than what it had to be, all because you was in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happens. It happens to the best of us. I can be honest and say that, you know, I had a dark moment in my life, and during that dark moment, I was very mean and very rude to people. I was damn near a bully. My attitude, nasty. Okay, just absolutely nasty. I've never been a mean-spirited person. I've never intentionally harmed anybody. But when I look back on some of my behaviors and how I treated certain people because I was in pain, it's embarrassing. It is truly, honest to God, embarrassing, because I never want to put myself out there as being a mean person, a violent person, or anything. But I also need to realize that I am not a perfect person. But in order for me to be a decent human being, I have to own up to the fact that, you know what, I was being irrational. I did a little bit too much, you know. I could have executed certain things a little better than how I did them initially. We can't go back and change the past, but what I can do now is just own up to the fact that I did it, and I can just move on with the rest of my life and make sure that I never do it again. And that is like a big, huge part to healing from trauma, okay? Because there are certain traumas that I have had, like certain things that I've been through, where I can be honest and say, like, yeah, I've been through some stuff, this and that and the third was done to me, but let me take a step back and realize that I never had to wallow in self-pity. I never had to have an attitude problem and take it out on everybody. I never had to, you know, expect people to be mind readers and magically fix me and then get mad at them because they couldn't read my mind. Like, I gotta take a step back and realize that sometimes I was in my feelings and it felt like the world was against me. It did. And realistically speaking, I am an irrelevant bitch. Ain't nobody thinking about me. Ain't nobody worried about me. I just was in my own head, making things up as I go, because the world was just doing too much for me at once. And to each its own, but I will say that has helped me. That has helped me a lot. That has helped me heal tremendously. That has helped me with so much, because we are human. We are human. We are human. We are human. We are not perfect, and we should not expect ourselves or other people to be perfect, period. Sometimes it was my fault. Sometimes I messed up. Sometimes I said the wrong thing, and sometimes I just had a bad attitude and left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and I just got to deal with the repercussions of my actions, and that's it. Life lesson number 3, and I gotta say this was probably the hardest thing for me to understand. Life is not linear. It's not. Nothing in life is really linear. Nothing in life is perfect. And the sooner that you understand that, the more at peace you will be. This kind of ties in with my statement about it's okay to leave when it's time to leave, because I always I don't know, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I always thought that if you do the right thing, the quote unquote right thing, right, you will always get what you deserve. Like, there's always going to be a set outcome. So if you do well in school, you're going to go to a good college, and if you go to a good college, you're going to get a degree, and you're going to get this job that pays you big money. Y'all probably already see where I'm going with this. Yes, this relates back to Central State. Yes, it relates back to me going to school, going back to school, stuff like that. I can be honest and say that in a way, I did not go to school for the right reasons. I always wanted to go to college. That was always in my plans. But I'm gonna be honest, I mainly went because I felt like I had to. I didn't really have time to think about what I wanted to major in or how it would affect my life. I never really gave it any thought. I just felt like I had to. When it came to the choice of school that I went to, I didn't think about transferring to another school. I thought that was my end all be all. I thought that was it. But it's not just about Central. It's not just about, like, you know, going to school and stuff. Like I said, these are all life lessons. These are about my life in general. I can be honest and say that there have been times where I thought things were set in stone. And when I realized that things were not going according to plan, I wouldn't even try anymore. I would just completely get rid of it and just never touch it ever again. I was comfortable with the idea that certain things weren't meant for me, but it took me years later to realize there are certain things that were meant for me. I just didn't like the package it came in. Yeah, that was me. That was me. I just didn't like the fact that it wasn't going according to my plan. It wasn't going according to my plan. It was going according to the plan that it was supposed to go through in the first place. But me being hard-headed and me being stupid, I said, oh, it don't look like how I thought it was gonna look. Get rid of it. Who knows what all opportunities I would have received? Who knows what type of things I could have achieved if I would have just had an open mind from the very beginning. But there's literally, once again, nothing that I can do about it now but change my ways and grow as a person from this day forward. I'm not necessarily being dismissive, but you know, like, it's realistic. Like, you can't do anything about it but become a better version of yourself. And that's essentially what I'm trying to do, which is why I'm, you know, making this video. These are the life lessons that I've had to learn in order to grow as the person that you see sitting here today. Life is not linear. Stop messing up your blessings because it doesn't look like how you thought it was gonna look. You are seriously going to regret it. You will regret it. You will regret it. Trust me. Okay guys, I actually did my hair off camera because I knew it was going to take way longer, and I was basically going to be spending the whole get ready with me doing my hair, and I just wasn't going to do that to you guys. But can we talk about how, like, as I'm styling my hair, I'm flat ironing my hair, right? Remember the bald spot that I showed you in the lace earlier, right? This could just be me tripping. It could, but I highly doubt it. Can we address why the bald spot got bigger? Oh! Do you see that? Do y'all see that? Like, I could have sworn it was just this part. I could have sworn it was just this part that was a little bald, right? Now it's then trickled down over to here. So this is my problem. This is what I'm saying. This ain't even supposed to be a hair video, but I just gotta really address this and talk about it. I bought this hair off of Unice, right? This is supposed to be HD lace, and it's 26 inches. It's not that long, but it's long, right? The density is supposed to be 180. This does not feel or look like 180. It feels like 180 up here, but the more you go down, it gets very thin. Now, it don't look bad, especially because, you know, I'm usually keeping my hair straight. It came curly, so, you know, it doesn't look terrible, but it's still the principle of the matter that I paid $400 for this. Did you hear me? I paid $400. I paid $400. $400, y'all. I paid $400. This is supposed to be HD lace, and it's balding like this. This is supposed to be 180 density, and it's balding like this. So at this point, You Nice can count their days. I don't know if I'm gonna give them another chance or not, y'all. I just knew that this was one of them sites where a lot of people trust them, and I done seen like a lot of girls that I even follow use their hair. But this right here, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely positively ridiculous. It did not look like this when I got my hair done. It did not look like this while I was in New York. It seems like if you use the flat irons or you comb it or something, the hair just starts coming out. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous, and it's not worth $400, so I'm upset. But we gonna make it work though. I could honestly just change the part and just go with that. Like, I could easily make this a side part, but it's just the principle of it all that it shouldn't even be doing this, because basically whether I make a side part or not, it's just gonna end up like this. So that's ridiculous. I would also like to point out that I left a review on the specific hair that I bought, and I included pictures, but I'm gonna scroll through this whole entire thing and you will not be able to find my review anywhere. I gave them 3 stars and I was basically giving them an honest review. So what it looks like to me is that they only approve of reviews that make the product look good, instead of actually allowing you to post the reviews, period. So I'm just gonna keep scrolling until we get to the very, very bottom. It's gonna take a while, but I just want y'all to see this. My review is nowhere to be found, and I left my review on March 20th, March 22nd, I want to say, around that time. I'm not sure exactly when, but I left mine in March. And we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning of this year, and you cannot find my review anywhere. Keep going to the very bottom. Hold on, look at that. Yeah, it won't go anymore. That's all of the reviews for this year. Mine is nowhere to be found. So yeah, take note of that. So, new life lesson: I'm not shopping off of You Nice ever again. Sorry. Sorry, it's just not gonna happen. I'm irritated. But no, in all seriousness, let's go on with the real list and just let me just go about the rest of my day. So the 4th life lesson that I've learned: it's okay to not be perfect. That don't go for you, You Nice. That doesn't apply to you. But anyways, in the grand scheme of things do not always have to be perfect. I simply have a hard time struggling with this concept because I have always been an overachiever unintentionally. I have always been applauded for my ability to learn very fast. I have always been applauded for how mature my brain is. I've always been applauded for being the best, essentially, right? And there comes a point in your life where life humbles you very, 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 very much. And it gets brought to your attention that you are not a perfect person. It gets brought to your attention that sometimes you make mistakes just like everybody else. Similar to the statement that I made about how life does not always have to be linear, this is the same concept essentially. Just because you don't like the way it looks does not mean that it's not meant for you or that it's not happening the way it's supposed to happen. It's just in a different format. It's in a different little packaging. And that packaging itself might look like 12 different mistakes. That packaging might look like a huge, gigantic red flag. But when it all comes down to it, sometimes you just got to trust the process. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow and figure it out on your way. But I have to say that was one of my biggest struggles growing up. But I have to say, for my adulthood self, that is one of my biggest struggles. Because like I said, I've always been praised for my overachievements. I've always been praised for, other things. And this was, a slap in the face, essentially, because I have never not been perfect. I have never not been this amazing prodigy, this amazing overachiever. That has never happened for me. I have never had that happen for me. So coming into your adulthood, realizing that there are certain people that aren't going to applaud you even for the little things that you do, it is kind of like a hard adjustment. It's kind of difficult to come to terms with. But in that same breath, it's life and you just got to deal with it. Because once again, that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It's just different. And now it's a new challenge where you have to learn to adapt and you have to figure out a new approach instead of the old approach that you were just so accustomed to. Not the end of the world. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Sometimes it does feel like it's the end of the world. I will say that. It does. But in the grand scheme of things, is it the end of the world? No. No, it's not. And sometimes, which is something that I've learned, sometimes when life gets a little bit more challenging or it goes outside of your routine, that usually means that you're now on a new path towards your goal. Again, life is not linear. So sometimes you got to let go of your ego and you got to come to terms with the fact that you yourself, as a living, breathing human being on planet Earth, you are not perfect. You're not. And that is a-okay. So the next thing that I had to learn in life is that divine timing is very, very, very real. Now that I'm looking at this list, I realize that a lot of these themes, they kind of tie into each other in some way. Like I'm kind of just regurgitating the same exact thing over and over again. Because this does tie into letting go, knowing that it's okay to be perfect, and understanding that life isn't linear. But at the same time, it's not though. At the same time, they're very different things, but you know, it kind of flows together. That's what I'm trying to say. So here's the thing about divine timing and everything happening for a reason. I have had certain moments in my life where I just had like the most woe is me moments ever. Because I would want to do something so bad or have like a specific opportunity, and it was never in my reach, or at least so I thought, right? But give it some time. I look back on certain situations now, and I have to say I'm very thankful that things did not happen the way that I thought it was going to happen, because I would have lost my mind and I probably wouldn't be speaking to y'all today. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Oh my God. I just spilled a whole thing of rubber bands everywhere. Why do I even still have these up here? Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. What am I talking about? Child, anyways, back to the life lesson. Prime example of everything happens for a reason would have to be the most recent situation. This was back in like 2019, right? I was in a relationship with this guy and I thought that this was my end all be all. I thought this was the man that I was going to marry. And honey, at that time, you could not tell me different. I thought this was the man that I was going to have kids with. I don't even have to tell you that that didn't happen, and it ended very, very poorly. I'm talking about it crashed and burned, baby. It was very scary. It was just not it. That's all I'm gonna say. And at first, because you know how heartbreaks are, I was devastated. I just could not believe that this was my life, and I had to now learn how to live life without this person. That was one of the worst heartbreaks that I have ever went through in my life. And I'm not gonna speak on it too much because it's still kind of sort of a sensitive topic for me. But I will say this. Months later, literally handful of months later, I get about 5 different examples as to why I am so happy that I left at the time that I left. Because baby, I don't know if that was karma. I don't know what that was, but all I'm gonna say is I dodged a bullet. We're not gonna talk about it right now. But baby, I dodged the bullet, and I just want y'all to know that. Another bullet that I dodged. I used to want to be a Disney Channel star so bad. I'm talking about that was one of my goals. I was working towards it. I mean, you could not tell me that I wasn't going to be on Disney Channel. You could not tell me that I wasn't going to be a star. Like, I literally was dedicated to it. And after that little dream, I actually did want to be in the music industry. You know, every little girl when Nicki Minaj came out wanted to be a rapper. Like, come on now, let's be real. And honey, I was dedicated. I was dedicated to all of that. And when I never got my chance, I was so sad. I was so devastated. I thought that was the end of it all. But sweetie, listen, I'm looking at this music industry now. I'm kind of glad I never got a chance to be a part of it. I'm kind of proud of it. Hearing the horror stories of everybody that used to work on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, and, you know, hearing about Dan Schneider, the Me Too movement itself just exposed so much of Hollywood and just California in general. And I gotta say, I'm very happy that I just never got to that point in my life. I'm very happy that that was never me. I'm just so thankful, just utterly thankful that I didn't have to go through any of that. But these were all things where I just knew that this is what I wanted. I just knew, like, oh, it has to be this way and it has to be that way, and if it's not this way and that way, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I really thought I was missing out on something, honey. I was a survivor. Like, I was dodging basically literal bullets at this point, because what? So trust me, honey, sometimes certain things ain't meant to be, and you probably don't understand it now. You probably won't ever get it until probably 50 years later. But I'm telling y'all, I'm really trying to tell y'all, it's certain situations that just are not worth it. They're just not worth it. And it seems like right now everything is just hell on earth, but baby, your life probably getting saved as we speak. No bullshit. I don't think I'm gonna do too much makeup right now, so I think I'm just gonna do concealer, some powder, and like put some lashes on and stuff, and just call it a day. So the last life lesson that I've learned: forget all about your ideal accomplishments. Those things are so irrelevant, okay? This is kind of similar to divine timing, but basically what I'm trying to tell y'all is that there's certain things where you feel like if you don't accomplish this particular goal, then you're a failure. But I gotta say, like, it's just certain things where you really sit down, like when you actually have the time to sit down and think about these things, you realize how stupid it is. You realize how crazy it is that you ever worried about this particular situation in the first place. And I'm being like so serious when I say that. Cause the thing is, the easiest thing that I can compare it to, once again, is education. I have to say, me personally, as y'all know, I still want to go back to school. I still do want to go back to school and get my degree, finish college and stuff like that. I still want to go to college. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. After actually taking some time to myself, viewing the world for what it is, looking at all the job opportunities and just opportunities in general that is out there in the world, I have to say, like, I really do regret the fact that I went to a school that pushed for you to go to college so hard and so bad, because that's part of the reason why when I flunked out I felt like a failure. But in reality, college really ain't for everybody. And when I really sat back and looked at my life and looked at everything for what it was, I have to say, in retrospect, I really don't need a degree for a majority of the things that I'm gonna do in my life. Like, I know for a fact that I'm trying to own a business. I really don't want to work for anybody else. I like the company that I work for currently, and I really could level up in this company and just work there for the rest of my life. But that's honestly my plan B. That's not the main thing that I want to do. That's not something that's like a dream of mine. And you know, as of right now, I do YouTube. I'm not getting paid for this though. But you know, if anything takes off, like whether my TikToks take off or whether I become some type of internet celebrity, you know, I would take that opportunity. I would use that. Honestly, it would be the ideal thing for me to do, to be honest. Like, it would be the ideal job for me to have right now, because that would give me more free time and I would have more creativity. And honestly, them checks would help me with trying to start the business that I actually want to start. So I'm not against being an influencer either, but realistically speaking, you know, I ain't nobody right now. Don't nobody know me. So that's the thing. Like, you know, I felt like I had to go to college. I always wanted to go to college, but I also felt like going to the schools that I went to, they pretty much shoved it down your throat. They pretty much like pressured you into making these decisions. And looking at it from an adult perspective, looking at it from somebody who now pays a bunch of bills and currently has to pay off a school that they barely attended because they're unorganized, looking at everything for what it is and now being knowledgeable on like credit scores and stuff like that, I have to say it is really upsetting that they put the pressure on literal children to make a big life decision like college. That ain't fair. Like, that's really, really not fair at all. But it's so normalized now. Like, it's so normal to give 16 and 17-year-olds the freedom to be like, oh, choose where you want to spend a whole bunch of money and have to pay it off, even if you don't end up working in your career field like you thought you were. And you have to do it before you graduate or else you're going to be a failure. That's a lot of pressure. That's a whole lot. And that's so uncalled for, honestly, truly. It's very sad when you really sit down and think about it as an adult. Like, that's not okay. And I really do feel like that was majority of my graduating class, because like majority of my graduating class, we went off to college. But life happened for some of us, and a whole lot of people either dropped out, came back home and got like a trade or whatever, or like went to nursing school or whatever, which isn't bad. But you know, we were so pressured to go to college and told that you are only successful if you have a plan immediately after high school. And that was not fair to any of us. You never know what type of things life will throw your way. That's what I'm trying to say, because I don't plan on being an influencer, honestly, truly. But if I do end up being one, then so be it. I mean, the fact that I see that I can reach people, I reach audiences, I inspire certain people to do things, even at the small amount that I'm at right now, you know, that is inspiring. That is something where it's like, okay, now I'm taking it into consideration. Just being realistic, you know, I never really planned on being big or famous or nothing like that. But I'm at a point in my life where whatever happens. Hi guys, it's me from the future. So once again, this is like the second video where this has happened. My camera decided to cut off certain parts of my videos. So thankfully, the gist of what I wanted to say is already out. I already got that out the way. But in this next clip, you're gonna see my makeup completely done. From my lashes to the way I did my lips and everything. But believe me when I say I recorded all of that, but for some reason it just is gone. I don't know why, but it's gone. So I wanted to jump in here and let you guys know that is the reason why you see that transition where I am completely in the middle of doing my makeup and then I'm just completely done up the next minute. And then after that segment, you're going to see me again because they cut off that part too. Don't know why, don't know how, but yeah. But I just wanted to come in, let you guys know, yes, that is what happened. That's the reason why it switched so quickly. Okay guys, I am back. I'm fully dressed, makeup done, everything done. So, closing remarks. I will say to anybody watching this, please enjoy your life. Take it step by step. But what I will say is, if you do make mistakes, if you do run into big situations and it seems like it's just so catastrophic and you just can't find a way out, trust me, you will be able to find a way out. I guarantee you will be able to find a way out. Life has a crazy way of just moving and doing things. It's a part of life to make mistakes from time to time. That doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Sometimes it can feel like that, but I promise you it really is not. I told you I was coming back. I wasn't kidding. That's literally what happened. That's how it cut off. But anyways, continuing on with my closing remarks that got cut off. Everybody goes through life lessons. Everybody is going to have their hard times. And at the moment, it feels like the world is against you. It feels like everything is just going wrong and there's going to be no way out. But trust and believe, those cringy moments, those embarrassing moments, those moments where you feel like nothing is going right, it'll all pan out perfectly in the end. Some people will also learn different life lessons quicker than others. Everyone has their own individual path and their own individual path of discovery. So we might not learn the same life lessons by the same exact age. That doesn't mean that you're doing something right, but that also doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It is literally just how life works, and there's nothing we can do about it. I would have loved to do this outro when I was gussied up and cute. I'm still cute, but my bang kind of struggling. But nonetheless, once again, with the life lessons, everything isn't always going to be perfect. So as I always say in all of my videos, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below any life lessons that I did not cover or that you personally had to learn this coming year. Don't forget to subscribe and of course share if you can. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time. I'ma tell you all the things